All right, hello everybody. Welcome to CCA Season 4 opening night. This is a really big season, starting off the fall semester on a good foot. We have 131 teams this season, which is I think that's up 50 teams, and we're up to 88 schools too. So CCA is back and bigger than ever with the start of the fall semester 2023. We're kicking off tonight with the Div 6 opening match. But before we get onto the teams, I'm Raphael, and I'll be commentating tonight with. Do you care to introduce yourself, Echo?
Yeah, of course. I'm Echo, mid-level player for Splatoon, and really excited to be here talking about the really growing scene in collegiate Splatoon. Here, we're already going to be starting off here on Zone Shipshape. Let's get right into this. Spoon from Kutztown University versus Gator Eats Squid of U of F.
Yeah, and right here we see Shipshape. Is that Shipshape Zones? That is Shipshape. I can't speak English, but we're opening up on zones on one of the new maps in the game. It's honestly, I really like this map. It's one of the more navigable maps in the game that you can actually take some alternate routes through mid. You see here right at the opening, it's kind of in a neutral phase, although the shot on the side of Spoon here, finding that early fit. They aren't getting much mileage out of it until they get this double. Awesome for them. Okay, are they moving up on it? They're taking a little bit of time to move up on it, but they're holding that zone. What do you think of this, Echo?
Yeah, this Hydra's just going to be set up on the bottom mid here, going to make it really, really difficult for Gator Eats Squid to come in here. The strike's coming out with the Nautilus on top, but with so many bomb pressures from the Brush, from the Slosher, from the Splattershot Jr., that is 3 Splat Bombs. It's going to make it really hard for these Splatlings to set up all perfectly. Brush has Whale, they might be able to use it, but as their Junior goes down, it's going to be a little difficult for them to cap zone, but it's going to be really important for them just to get this penalty. But already we're seeing just still really neutral as it's counting down for Spoon here.
Yeah, no, I mean, Spoon is getting that timer down. It is ticking, not slowing. I mean, they're stalling out the zone, but they aren't really able to get that flip. Are they going to get it now, though? They managed to get the double. They stall the zone. They have the bubble on the zone. And we finally see our blue team here flip. I should let me check the sheet to see who's playing tonight.
Yeah, that bubble was really pivotal in giving them this early reversal of the zone. Even though they might be able to just recap it right after, which happens, they still got that penalty, and that is going to be huge just to give them so much more time here. Trying to get a tri-strike in, just not going to be able to move that Hydra enough, going to be picked off by it, as this Touch Dually might be able to find a way in, able to pick off the Brush, might try to go in even further than that. But then again, you have Nautilus in front of you, you have the Hydra, so you can pretty much just hold this good position, wait out that timer, and then get a KO. So it's going to be a really difficult time for U of F here, trying to get a pick on the Hydra after the C-Tech. This is their chance.
Gator Eats Squid's bucket is just going crazy here. He was playing some mental games with that Hydra. Do you see that? He was just hiding on that ledge. The Hydra knew he was there. He was looking, but he couldn't do anything about it. Unfortunately, that wasn't the momentum that University of Florida needed here, and Spoon takes that zone right back with a pretty decisive quad.
Yeah, that wipeout's going to be very difficult for them, especially with this Rio Bomb that might be able to get the Tetra in with the Inkstorm. This is going to be so much pressure on the side of Spoon. It's going to be difficult for them to come back, but Nautilus is going down, as well as a Junior trade on the Tetra. It's going to be just a Slosher here, 20 seconds left, and going to go down to a bomb. Just a Nautilus. It's looking rough.
It's looking very, very rough for Gator Eats Squid. I think that first game is going to Spoon right off that bat there. I think what really put the nail in the coffin for them was whenever they trickled towards the end there. We saw that Spoon got that delayed wipe on Human Blue. And, I mean, I think that entire game was kind of just a prime example of how not to retake mid. We saw that University of Florida had some moments cooking there. I mean, really, props to that bucket. That was probably one of the moments of the game, but it just didn't really hit the zone all at the same time. They struggled to get that footing.
Yeah, I feel like after parties, their Hydra Splatlings sort of decided the pace of that game, where against a Hydra, it's going to be even more important just to have all the resources you can to move it in any way possible. You need those ink strikes on the Hydra, you need the whales on it, even the inkjets or inkzookas, which I don't think this comp has, but just in general, you want to put specials, you want to put bombs on their backline just so that you're not constantly outranged. And if you're not quite able to get those, if you go down, you lose a lot of your special meter, and so it's going to be that much harder for your teammates to stay alive, wait for those specials, and then push back in. And
Right.
Tower Inkblot, I feel like the strikes that we're seeing from both teams are going to be even more powerful here. The Hydra will also have a... I feel like on advantage it's going to have a very good time, on disadvantage it's going to be very difficult. So this really neutral on this game and how this first fight plays out might decide the tempo of the rest of it.
Story of my life, honestly. I mean, I play 10 sometimes now, most of the time now, and that weapon's very much in the same vein. Now we see both teams rolling out to hit mid here. Neither team really gets a solid hold of the start, except that Nautilus getting that double. Oh, Gator Squid is clustered up on that right stack there, right for the picking.
That shot velocity of Nautilus.
Like Gator.
Yeah, they are going to take that spoon, eat that squid right up. But unfortunately, those bombs are going to be a little bit difficult for them to maneuver around. Double splatling here, just a lot of paint on the side of Gatorade Squid. They're going to find that Nautilus pick, and this might be their time to show them what they're made of. Going down right before that.
I mean, they pick off that Nautilus who was in the corner there, but then the strikes from Gator kind of managed to hold them back. Oh wow, there's actually a lot on screen now. I don't know what I'm looking at.
Yeah, a lot of
left and right, and it looks like Gator Squid is finally getting hold of that tower, but going down to a quickly placed flat bomb.
We are seeing so many bombs, just creating so much pressure here. That's sort of the name of the game with neutral. You don't want to be taking too many unsafe pokes against the opponent. When you want to commit, you really want to make it count. So, unfortunately, Rush is going to go down to the T-Tech, just holding the space really effectively on their stack. They have the strikes, they have the Booyah and the Rain. This is going to be the Tetra just going into bats. That Reef Side are going to get a pick. It actually working for once. That is impressive. And then it's going to be up to Gatorade Squid to find those ink strikes, find that bubble, and just try to find a way to get this Tetra off of their spawn already. So weak. Finally getting down to the brush, but they're already past second checkpoint. This Booyah coming out. They are going to be in a rough spot here.
Oh my gosh, I mean, we were seeing special out of special coming out of Spoon there. They were just dishing them out. And even now, they're not letting go of that plat. Their push is slowing down after going down a few members, but they're holding their ground. I mean, look at that T-Tech fighting out that tower. That is a T-Tech 1v1 right there. They're going all over the place. Spoon comes out on top, touching that tower back again. They're fighting for their lives actually. There's a bubble on the tower, a blue bubble on tower, but Agent Will is still holding his ground here. He's not letting go of that thing. Oh my god.
They've spent so much time here. I'm honestly impressed that they didn't just wipe out earlier, but still so much pressure on tower. Here comes a Booyah Bomb. Unfortunately, the T-Tech going down when they were so close to strikes. That's going to be really difficult for Gatorade Squid to hold their bats here. Nautilus and T-Tech and even the Tetra with Reef Slider ready to just keep so much pressure up here. Nautilus going to pick off the Junior, trying to go in here with the Whale. They're still going to be 2 down, and now it's just the Brush that's going to be a wipeout, and even harder for them to get this out before Spoon knocks out again.
And we see Agent Will peeking right back up there. He's hiding on the edge of that tower, waiting for that Hydra to go down. Once the bomb got him, he just took that tower right back, and that was a pretty decisive KO. He popped his strikes after climbing up on that thing. Oh my god, Spoon was just in their opponent's face that entire time.
There was a lot of tempo there, just from the Nautilus getting so many good early picks, and then properly moving up into the opponent's plat and taking their bats when possible, but in general just keeping so much plat pressure and constant bullets, constant mobility, keeping the paint up enough so that Gatorade Squid just couldn't find those shots against the Tetra, against the Nautilus. They just used their movement to their advantage, and were able to find tower. Yeah, and
But
that's
yeah, definitely.
I guess
No, you
that's
go ahead.
especially like one of the main things with why we're seeing a lot of like tactical in the meta recently. It's sort of just if you don't wipe out, your teammates can jump to you. So we saw a lot of that where even though neither team here is running cooler, if you can just stall out long enough for them to respawn, you don't necessarily need to give up all that space. Um, but
Right,
yeah,
right. And
there
stalling is,
was
I
just a
think,
lot of
yeah, stalling, I
you,
think, is one of the weak points we've seen out of Gator Eats Squid from University of Florida here so far. They're just struggling to. They're all going in, they want to take those fights, but they aren't really doing it together, and that's what's kind of crippling them. That said, that type of playstyle tends to fare weaker on the slower modes of the game, which are Tower and Splat Zones, the only two modes we've played so far. So I'd like to see how they fare on a mode where you can get away with a little more individualistic play like Rainmaker. Even if it's not optimal, you can still get away with it. But somebody decided to put Rainmaker in the map list. I'm gonna have a word with them. That aside, let's see how they do on this change of pace.
Yeah, we're going to be seeing a lot of bombs early on, most likely, trying to get this Hydra out of position. We're seeing a Fizzy Bomb on the Tri Nouveau. Bit of a change here. Tactical as well is going to help their momentum a lot. And just trying to take these fights, trying to keep those strikes on the Hydra. Tetra going down pretty early on, and all of their members being marked. This whale is going to create a bit of momentum as the Hydra's a little further up, but that bomb is going to pick off random a little early. Trading it out with the bubble. Oh no! The bubble just being extremely tiny under bottom right. Going to be caught out with another bomb under left side, and that's going to be Spoon winning neutral here.
Yeah, oh my gosh, in retrospect, I think I would like to see that Tri-Slosher be a little more decisive. We saw that he had the whale. Oh wow, Rainmaker finding a big double there. Is that going to be checked? Or, oh my god, a triple. Never mind about the try. This is
Oh, the try's right here. Yeah, they're just having to go to right side.
Stop the rain, but that Rainmaker juked him out and brought it for the right route. That's check one going to Spoon.
Honestly, I really like the Rainmaker just choosing to, okay, we have one opponent left. They're all looking at left. I'm just going to take it to the right checkpoint where they physically cannot shoot me instead of trying to force it on there. But here comes the try on the flank, able to get a T-Tech, and with that Tactical, might be able to keep up this momentum for themselves and their teammates. Here the Rainmaker resets. It's going to be a lot more time for them. This Hydra going to trade out against the Nautilus. That is going to be huge for Gator Eats Squid. That Tactical coming out, they have a lot more time here to just try to bomb out mid, having their junior try to go in, fortunately going down, but they do have a chance here still to try to take high ground and contest this Hydra, contest this Nautilus that have been so prevalent.
Even with all that momentum, it doesn't look like they managed to get past into mid. I mean, we see Spoon back in that flat here, bringing their push back on. We almost have Rain online from the Nautilus, and it just seems like Gator Squid isn't playing with a lot of decision in mind. There's not a lot of vindication. It's like they're playing with no clear objective in mind. I'd really like to see them kind of shake that up. I mean, even with that tactical, they could have gone running in and tried to get some hits, but they kind of just stood there in the back. They were a little nervous, which is understandable. But I think I would like to see them go on the offensive a little more. We see people making a mad rush for that Rainmaker right now, kind of just fighting it out in mid. Pick's going down left and right. But Spoon cleans it up pretty well, good on their Nautilus. And we're right back full circle. I mean, oh wait, the try getting something to happen. He finds that pick on the Rainmaker, slowing the pace of the game down. Will his team be able to follow it up though? I'm not so sure.
Yeah, the junior's going to have bubble here, popping it as they're being pressured a lot on from the top right, from bottom left. Here comes the Reef Slider into the bubble, just going to be creating a lot of pressure here as they are trying to pincer in, getting the brush. Might also be able to pick off the Tri-Slosher, but Rainmaker wasn't quite being watched, so it's going to trade out, slowing down Spoon a lot here, but that Rain coming out just as the try goes down, there's not going to be all that much value here, though Tetra is going to be caught out by so much chip damage from the top right. But as two of them are on right, here we're seeing again, they see all of their opponents are on right side. They're just going to take it to the other side. Agent Will taking this Rainmaker and almost able to pick off the junior, but just able to hold this really nicely so that no more damage is done on Gator Eats Squid. popping Rainmaker, they might take it here and just try to get it out of their spawn, getting it back into mid in some way.
I mean, we saw that Junior getting that bubble, and then he's like, you are not taking this Rainmaker away from me. And he gets it, he's bringing it back, trying to push left, except it looks like all of our blue team is over on the left side there. That's a really good position for them. They managed to get that pick on Hydra, which is going to be huge in letting them retake mid. Unfortunately, the knock cleans up the job.
Yeah, there's a lot of just DPS here from the Nautilus, from that Hydra. There's so much just... There are constant bullets in your direction, and it's very difficult to challenge them up front directly. And especially with Whale, with Tacticooler, and Rain, there aren't that many tools to really move either of them, and except for maybe bomb pressure. But it's just going to be really difficult for them to find those positions where the Hydra is out of position. And then they're getting a lot of trades against the Hydra, against the Nautilus, but with the tempo that Spoon has been playing at, there's just so much that they're having to go against. The Tetra's jumping in over and over, the Nautilus just hoarding that space, and now Rainmaker going back into their spawn. It's just going to be a little too much as Game 3 is going to Spoon as well.
Yeah, it looked like it just was really, really difficult for Gator Squid to break past that not Hydra backline. I mean, as you said, the Nautilus just had like constant bullets coming out. That thing is basically hit scan in this game. So it's going to be really hard to contest if you don't have a tool to move it out of the way first. I would have liked to see, in retrospect, I think I would have liked to see a little more. Gator Squid had they had the bombs from the Brush and the Junior. I mean, Junior, I don't know if their Junior was running double bomb, but maybe they could play off of that going to the next game. Because that combined with the Whale, I mean, Brush effectively has double bomb too whenever you factor in its special. So I think that if they play their cards right, they can try and work with the same comp they're running. I mean, they definitely have the speed advantage over Spoon here. I mean, running Nautilus Hydra, that's gonna cripple your comp's pace.
Yeah.
But let's just see how they adjust going into this game. It's gonna be on. Wait, you had something to say?
Yeah, I saw that one of their 10 attack splatter shot players switched to Nautilus. It was Miri. On one hand, I can see why, because with 10 attack, you're just going to have a lot of a range disadvantage against them. But I do feel like some sort of displacement tool, so Booyah Bomb, missiles, but especially Triple Link Strike, can be really good at prolonging, just moving something like a Hydra Splatling for long enough so that your Ink Brush and your other aggressive weapons like a Try can go in to the opposing team. So I feel like Rain can do something similar, but it's not going to be as prevalent, just because Rain does damage over time, but it's just going to be a light nudge towards, hey, can you get out of this space, please? Triple Ink Strike is just going to be move or die, but we're going to be seeing them on an Ink Fac, which I feel is going to be a different style of making this Nautilus and Hydra get a little less value, having to shoot most of their charge into the back instead of at their teammates. With the Brush and Solution...
I would like to point out... I'm sorry.
No, oh, you're good. Just...
I would like to point out that Gator Squid is pulling out a certified Clam Blitz comp here with that Sploosh Curling Bomb double Brush. That is a decision, and I would love to see how it plays out. I mean, in theory, Spoon's comp isn't very mobile. Outside of those Tetras, they have double Splatling, and that's, really going to slow down their pace.
Did that stand just get a triple going into right side?
You know, might have, actually. I'm a little biased against Stamp. I think it's not a real special rip me playing Katana Wiper, but...
Yeah,
Wow, okay.
At any rate, there's going to be still a bit of a mid-scuffle here. Almost getting a push in, but that Stamp's just going to stop them. Spoon trying to get a little bit more mid here with GreyX going into top mid as Nautilus. That's going to... Oh no! The Nautilus just has a lower kill time than Jazz Vulture, so being able to get the drop on it like that is going to be so huge for them. Random trying to get out of there, but just... I'm going to be stuck on the wall as the Nautilus finishes them off, and that's going to be two power clams coming in here for Spoon. It's going to be difficult for Agent Will to hold this. Might just back up for a little bit, get that strikes in, and then push in for that second power clam. But the trade from the Ink Rush going to stop the push from getting any worse than it was.
Yeah, oh my gosh, that was a really, they almost had something going there. I mean, we saw the Nautilus get that delayed triple, and then they had the strikes followed up, they were just not quite on point. Now we see Gator Squid answering back with their own push, for their first push of the game. Let's see, are they going to have the clams answer back and get that lead? No, unfortunately they won't. That rush goes down in the 1v1, and now their Sploosh has to back out away from the net. Really smart decision backing into mid though, trying to get some jumps for his team. Getting that hammer, he's close to that hammer, and it looks like he's going to wait until his team can come back and take a fight with him.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of swimsuit with Ninja on this Sploosh, just trying to find a really good moment here to get in with the stamp. The rain, the ink strikes coming out, the Booyah Bomb as well. So it seems like Spoon is trying to move in here, but that stamp is at the ready, and it's going to go on top mid. Able to get the Nautilus, might try to go in for 2 or 3 on the left side as the Tetra goes down as well. That's going to be huge for Gatorade Squid, as with that whale, might be able to go in a bit further and retake this mid.
Definitely, we see that Hydra slowly inching up on the right side, getting to pick on the brush. Losing the firefight to the Jet Squelcher though. And we see ourselves back in a neutral situation. Although Gator Squid has the special advantage here, if they start moving up, they have that hammer, they're bringing that back up forward, the hammer goes down because that's a certified hammer moment. And unfortunately the pain goes down alongside him. That back is now weak. Oh, they're alone. And they get picked off too. And that is a delayed quad on this. Kudos to GrayX for getting that. I think that might be like the third one of the game.
Yeah, I do like...
Spoon is not letting up here.
I do like the adjustment to Jet Squelcher here, but with the Ink Vac, it's going to be very difficult for it to work with weapons that are so short range, like Ink Brush, like Sploosh, where they want to be able to shoot from range from the Ink Vac into the opponent, but it's just going to be a little bit too difficult here. Jet Squelcher's main weapon, though, able to outrange the Nautilus and pick it off here, still keeping Spoon out of getting a bigger push here, and letting Gatorade Squid only have to get 1 power claim here to keep themselves alive in this best of 7. Paintbrush trying to be on left side, but not going to be able to get out of the Nautilus's range, just getting caught out there, but 2 down on the side of Spoon here. 7 clams between the 3 of them, and that is a full wipeout. Trying to get clams onto the right side for a push as soon as possible here. They have 7, they just need to pass them, getting that power clam in as they pull out the Ink Vac. That
basket.
They still have time though, the Sploosh has it, but they're stuck in a stamp!
Only 2 people left on the side of Gator Squid, only 1. Oh, they were so close to getting that into overtime. Their Paintbrush is going to try and collect clams. There are 3 on the bottom left. Come on, they're right behind you. You can bring it overtime. Come on. Oh no.
Oh no. They had AirPods in, they couldn't hear you.
I mean, that was really well played by Gator Squid at the end there. They almost had something going. I mean, they had everything in line. Just a few small fumbles here and there that cost them the match. That was easily the closest game we've had all night.
Yeah, I do like I like the adjustment of Jet Squelcher just because a lot of the places that they were getting sort of caught out were just the long range of the Nautilus compared to the rest of their comp and the Hydra Splatling. So having something that in neutral can sort of contest that range. We saw the Hydra trying to get it picked, but just caught out immediately after by the Jet Squelcher. We didn't see that in games 1 to 3 because simply they just didn't have that tool in their comp in those earlier games. So that was a really good adjustment, but it just came a little too late for them.
Definitely, although the Jet Squelcher did do really well into that double Splatling. I just, like Splatlings are the mobile backline class, while Jet Squelcher is like about 10 times more mobile than they are, so fighting fire with fire right there, although unfortunately it wasn't quite enough. Definitely though, shout out to GrayX, the Nautilus from Cutstown's Spoon. They got like, I think they were on a solid streak of at least 8 kills at one point in there. So they were fragging out of their mind right there. We do see that even though the set goes to Spoon, we are going to be playing all 7 as is CCA tradition. I'm sure we're going to get a lot of sets like that this season, and I'm looking forward to them. We're moving into Splat Zone's Hagglefish Market, and Splat Zones, like I said, that wasn't a really strong mode for Gator Eats Squid. I mean, Clan Blitz was probably their best performance we've seen all night. Let's see what they've learned going back into one of the more stagnant modes of the game.
I really want to see that V-Jet again. I really feel like Jet Squelcher is a little underrated for Hagglefish specifically, just because, yeah, you have weapons like Ballpoint that can hold Tarp really well, but just in mid, when you want to be pretty mobile and being able to check either side as needed while pushing into mid, Jet Squelcher is the most mobile backline, as you said before, so it's really able to get a lot of it's able to catch the opponent in unsafe positions a lot more than almost any other backline can. So I'm excited to see whatever they bring out, though.
Definitely. And one thing I like about, like people rag on Jet Squelcher. They're like, oh, Jet Squelcher's lame. It's boring to play. And like, okay, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. But watching Jet Squelcher, a good Jet Squelcher will just like float around the map like they're a, feather adrift in the wind. And it's honestly pretty satisfying to watch. And we don't see that Jet Squelcher coming back out though. I believe they switched back onto the Nautilus again. They're bringing themselves into that Ditto matchup, so to speak. So they must be pretty confident that they can be the better Nautilus. Unfortunately, though, we see 2 go down inside of Gator Eats Squid right at the start here. Not without trading out Spoon's Nautilus, though. So the title of better Nautilus is still up in the air for now.
Yeah, we're seeing this Hydra just take a lot of space in mid. The strikes coming out from random, though. This T-Tech trying to find a bit of space here. Able to actually recapture the zone for Gator Eats Squid. But that Hydra just has so much range, so much paint on the side of Gator Eats Squid, not quite able to get that on their own side, having to back up fully as the bubble comes out and the brush goes down to the Hydra, the Nautilus. Tons of crossfire in mid here. It's just going to overwhelm Gator Eats Squid at the start here.
Yeah, I mean, we see they were a little slow to get zone at the beginning, but once they did, they just brute force their way through it, and it doesn't look like they're showing any signs of letting up yet. Of course, we do have the rain online for Gator Eats Squid. They're slowly pushing them on the right. They're setting up that Nautilus. They're getting the pick on the enemy Nautilus. They get a double, and they get zone. They burned their bubble a little early, though, so they aren't able to get it. But Miri on the Nautilus here, getting that delayed triple.
That Tetris behind them. They were able to get us.
Behind them, but...
Yeah, especially now that the T-Tech went down with the Ink Strikes, and so that's going to be a lot more time before they're able to get them. A lot of bombs coming out, but with the Whale, it's going to slow it down maybe enough for the Nautilus to get back in position here. They are still close to the lead if they just paint zone here. If they hold it for just a few seconds longer before the three-starter comes out, they get the lead as they recapture zone here. It's going to give them a lot of time. With that bomb on the Nautilus as well, Greyx is not going to be able to do what they did last game, spending a lot more time on that respawn. But for now, the zone's still going to be on the side of Spoon.
Definitely. Although not without Gator Eats Squid getting that lead there. We see Logan on the Tetris going in to get some mileage, and they're able to keep his opponent off of his own long enough to get that lead rolling again. We see Mira going for a deep flank on the left here. It's off camera now, but it was a trade as it turned out. And with that, it looks like Gator Eats Squid is struggling to get that momentum off the zone. Now they're down 2 players. They burned their bubble trying to hold that front line down, but they aren't able to get enough paint on zone to stall it out yet. Now they're drawing that Nautilus off the left. He's not getting any paint on the zone. Unfortunately, though, they aren't able to get the resources out there to counter. And that is going to be another victory going to Spoon of Kutztown University.
Bubble is going to have a really tough time on zones on such a flat map like Hagglefish, against a weapon like Hydra Spoon. Yeah, against the Hydra, against the Nautilus, they have so much damage just from their main weapons onto Bubble. Like, usually you have to use some sort of special, like Reef Slider or Ink Strike, to really pressure a Bubble enough to break it. But if you have something like a Hydra Spot, like that thing kind of just glances in the direction of the bubble, and it's already like at half health. So It's going to be
Bubbles
difficult.
like when I was like 5 out in my grandma's backyard, you know, like, oh, bubble, just stab that thing.
I mean, I think those bubbles might be in more Splat 2 than 3. I think this is a little bit different of a bubble that we're working with.
Maybe.
But I do think it's going to help on
Whatever
tower
the case, the
surgeon.
Hydra can just shred through those things, so can the Nautilus too. That said, we are going to be on tower. We're going to see... I think it's probably safe to assume we're going to see that bubble coming out again. Although with the reduced HP it has on tower, is it going to be as impactful as they might be hoping it will be? I don't know. Surgeon Shipyard, though... I don't know. How do you think these comps will play out on a map like this? Think it's going to be more favored towards the back lines, or...?
So this is a map that if you get your backline on the opponent's snipe while someone else reds tower, it's going to be very difficult for them to move you off of that. And especially on their snipe, or like for Gator Squid, if they see the opponent's Hydra on their own snipe, they have bombs to remove it. But aside from that, they don't have that many tools as far as specials go, just to force them off very quickly. They have to still get within bomb range of the Hydra, and so they need to make sure that it's not looking where they are as they throw a bomb towards it. Because especially since they're firing from low ground, they're going to have that sight line, and also there's going to be a Nautilus watching somewhere to also pick off the person trying to displace the Hydra. I feel like that's going to sort of be the difficulty here. Anchors are really good at either holding tower just because they can still pressure from a long range, but also we're going to see a machine here, which is going to have a lot of pressure on anyone trying to get on tower as well for the for Gator Squid trying to push tower themselves. So it's going to be a bit of an uphill battle, but I think it is possible.
Definitely. We see Rayx, which was historically Spoon's Nautilus player, actually swapping onto that machine. Might pick up the pace of their comp a little bit, although machine isn't particularly a fast weapon. I guess he must have decided that Miri was actually the better Nautilus, so props to them. But we see that neutral fight happening on that tower. That's 3 going down in a staggered streak on the side of Spoon. And Gator Squid is slowly pushing up to their right checkpoint. They kill the T-Tech, his strikes didn't really do a whole ton. And they're going to get that early checkpoint.
Yeah, this is a
huge with them bringing the momentum of the early game in their favor.
The Hydra would just respawn, so it's going to be a while before they get their own Booyah, but that machine from Snipe's going to be a bit of a troublemaker, trying to just hold this area, but with that bubble on tower, it's going to be able to push it up to 35, 34, and almost at the checkpoint, Rayx trying to prevent their Hydra from dying, but that bomb is going to pick them off. Flanking the right side are going to be Random and the Brush here. Not quite able to get more points here with the Ink Strikes and then the Booyah Bomb being thrown. But that is a huge first push here, especially since not that much paint on the side of Spoon in mid. Agent Will's just going to be caught out here. A little too far up.
Definitely. After bringing it all the way to 34, it looks like Gator Squid is gearing up for push 2. That Hydra is way out of position. He has that Booyah Bomb though to kind of cover his tracks. He's going to be slowly pushing up on right, and he gets away with it. He isn't punished for it. See that it's back into neutral here on bridge, and with taking the brush down on the side of Gator Squid, Spoon is answering back to contest the first check for themselves. They get that pick on Random on the T-Tech. Agent Will finishing off that check, which is really all they needed right there. Tower's going to be rolling back out to mid. But with 2 specials to answer, I don't think Gator Squid is going to get another push on Spoon.
Yeah, I really like the way that they pincered into mid, where the Nautilus went into right side, and then the rest of the team just sort of filed in from left as they just crossfired for the machine and staff that were still on tower. We're going to be seeing a lot more bomb presence from the Junior, from the T-Tech here. Going to be catching the Hydra a lot more than it was caught in any other game. This is going to be really promising for them, but those Ink Strikes just going to be holding tower for long enough for the bomb to hit Random right back. That Hydra is going to try to get in position here as the Tacticaler is at the ready. Agent Will getting a really clean pick on the left side, holding tower here as they take right, and that Hydra is set up on tower. It's going to be hard to move once again.
you see they're bringing that tower dangerously close to lead. They have the strikes out, but they have the Booyah Bomb. Wait, they're sitting on that Booyah Bomb. If they get that Booyah Bomb out, that could be lead for them. The Booyah Bomb is out. It's charging up. Oh, but it goes off a little prematurely. It does clear out some space for them, though. Are they going to be able to fill that space to get that lead? They're 2 points away. They're right on the check. They brought it to 35, but the tower's going back, and Gator meets Squid has that bubble out. The Hydra getting that second Booyah Bomb out, though. They're able to get back on the tower. They're not out of this just yet. We see both teams just jumping in and going down. An absolute bloodbath here at the final checkpoint. The strikes coming out from random on the T-Tech, cleaning that up again, trying to keep that tower as far away from lead as possible. But again, Agent Will just answering back with his own strikes, getting right back on that tower. Oh my god, players just diving in and out. Oh my god, this is chaos right here.
There is so much time here. The Hydra's still trying to come back and getting a 2v2 situation. Once again, this tower has stayed right next to this lead. That bubble coming out just a little forward for their teammates to make use of it, but here comes Larry on the brush once again, so close to picking off this Booyah Bomb, able to do it right before it gets that extra HP. Agent Will and Logan trying to come out with this zap on the Junior, getting the pick, almost at the lead, able to take it just as Gatorade Squid gets them off of tower once again. They got what they came for, now it's just stalling them out for 30 more seconds. This is going to be a bit of an uphill battle at the end. There's a Booyah Bomb that the Hydra already has. They have an H-Strike and a Booyah Bomb. Gator Squid needs to do something now to get them off of tower, get them away from left side as they get space around tower, but they're going 2 down to that Booyah Bomb. It's going to be really tough.
Oh, absolutely 2 seconds left on the clock. That tower is in possession of Spoon, and that is going to be game 6, I believe, right? Game 6 going to Spoon again. What a close one. Oh my god. They cinched that 1 point lead. We saw that tower. It was doing the tango back and forth for at least the last minute of the game there. Oh, that's probably a bitter taste in Gator Squid's mouth. But on the bright side, that was easily their strongest performance all night. They very well could have taken that game. I think we're only seeing them do better further in the set, even if the victor has been decided already.
Yeah, I do think that they are adapting well, but there's just going to be a lot of pressure just constantly jumping in on the side of Spoon here. With that Zap's Tactical, with the Hydra able to be jumped into as well, there was just a lot of presence on left side. Eventually those strikes finish what they were doing. That rain runs out, that bubble it loses its HP, and then suddenly you don't have any specials. They're still pushing in, they have all of that paint, and they're still trying to take that tower. It's just going to be a lot to try to deal with if you don't move in with everything that those strikes give you, everything that the rain pushes out initially. And I think moving forward, it's going to be important for Gatorade Squid to sort of make the most of those specials. When that Hydra's down, what exactly they can collapse in on as a team before that Hydra jumps in and just gets set up again.
Definitely. They had that explosive push right at the start of that last match. I think if they lean into playing a little more opportunistically like that, and Rainmaker is definitely the mode where that can bring you further. I mean, tower control is so slow, you really need to draw out and sustain your pushes. Rainmaker as a mode, even with the addition of that checkpoint system in Splatoon 3, is still so much more explosive. You can still easily engage in under a minute. And
I feel like
to see if Gator Squid can try to pull off something like that in this final last hurrah that they have in week 1.
This is definitely one of the maps where I kind of want to see. They used Sploosh earlier in this set. This is a Sploosh map. This is such a Sploosh map. I had a teammate that loved running Sploosh, and this is one of the maps where they kept yelling at us, trying to convince us for him to run Sploosh. And honestly, I kind of like that energy here. I want to see them run it because Stamp moving in with the Rainmaker could really help get a really strong push for Gatorade Squid here. I'm going to be seeing the Aerospray and the Forged Throw.
It is good at pushing past elbow. Yeah, no, okay, so we don't see the Sploosh. we do see a golden arrow spray coming out of Agent Will. He has 3 mains of special power up. He is going to be booyah botting this entire game. But let's see how that plays out.
Yeah, that Nautilus getting an early pick on them, though. Yeah, this Hydra's trying to set up aggressively in mid with the Forge Pro, giving it crossfire on the right side. Hydra's just taking Rainmaker a little early here. Zap trying to keep it painted, but especially with the Whale here, it's going to be a little too much pressure. That Rainmaker is going to go down. The location is seen by everyone on the opposing team. It's going to be a little bit difficult. Zap trying to go in here, but Irowadi on the Junior getting a really nice regrab of this, and seeing a lot of the opponent is on the left side. Gator Squid might just take it right, and the Forge Pro coming up at the very last second before they get checked, going to be able to pick off 2 on Gatorade Squid, forcing them back up. Here's Random last alive, trying to find a way out, trying to jump, but Greyx not letting him.
Yeah, he kind of shut that push right down. He's bringing him out of that check into right elbow, getting their own push. They climb up, even with the fire, they're able to find the pick on him, and he gets that first check pretty swiftly. They have that double Booyah Bomb coming out. That's going to be a lot of momentum swung in their favor. We see him diving in to his opponent's tree, and he is going to cause some madness up front while Agent Will brings the Rainmaker up and down.
Yeah, here it comes, just going to take as many points as possible.
Bringing it to that check. Oh, running it forward, getting it all the way to 5 points.
5 is going to be a huge push on Rainmaker home back, but already we're seeing it this way on the right side. We're seeing Random paint a path. Rainmaker might just get the checkpoint pretty early here, so that's going to be really promising for them as they do get the checkpoint as the Hydra lages that Rainmaker.
I mean, he might have gone down in the process, but it was a valiant effort. Getting past that first check can be such a chore, so getting it out of the way is going to make the future a lot easier for him.
Check's coming up here.
The quad! Oh my god, Irowadi finishing off the wipe on Spoon, popping that Rainmaker, and they're going to start moving up. Are they going to bring it left? Are they going to bring it left? No, they're opting to slow down a little in mid. Try and get some fire over in the stream while they're in the swing elbow. Unfortunately, they aren't able to clear that angle, so they're just going to be stuck here in mid a little while longer until their teammates can back in. But there is a left flank coming in hot from Spoon. Irowadi is just going to have to lodge that Rainmaker in as deep as they can, at least so that Spoon doesn't get another lead.
Yeah, this Nautilus trying to keep the pressure. Yeah, this Nautilus trying to keep the pressure, but just going to get crossfired from a lot of different angles here. The Zap just running in and getting another pick. It's going to be difficult for them to predict where the opponent's coming from with so much paint control. The Hydra might take the Forge takes Rainmaker here. Trying to just get a lot more presence, keeping up the pressure on Gatorade Squid. The rain is coming out, though, from their team. They have the Whale, they have the Bubble. We're seeing a Brio Bomb and Tacticaler. There's going to be a lot of specials coming out here. 3 of Gatorade Squid has dropped left. They're trying to get this flank in as this Junior holding the right side, able to stall Rainmaker for long enough for Random strikes to finally come in. And T-Tech, we're just going to be rushing the Zap here, getting a delayed quad. This is going to be a huge momentum shift. They just need to paint a path for Rainmaker, paint around it so it's safer to move up. But someone dropped in mid already. Going to get a lot of momentum here for Spoon once again.
With a really big numbers advantage in mid, it looks like they're going to be painting up. They're making sure there are no flanks. They're gearing up for their next push. They have those 3 specials online. Booyah Bomb number 1 coming out. Where's it going to be thrown? It's going to be thrown right in the street. Booyah Bomb number 2 with the tactical clearing out that bunker. The strikes finding the pick on their Hydra, though. So Spoon won't be able to move up as much as they were probably hoping they could. They do find that pick, that scrappy 1v1 with T-Tech right there. Greyx getting the pick, moving up. They still have that tactical online. Rainmaker getting that cover fire in the street. And that bubble is going to slow them down.
It's under a minute left, so for Gatorade Squid to win this game, they still need to pick off this Rainmaker. It might just try to stall it as long as possible on the left elbow, though. Finally able to find a pick on them. The Junior trying to come up here with the Ink Strikes. That's going to be a wipeout on the Zap. This is going to be their chance just to paint up, potentially grab Rainmaker, and get a lot of specials onto right side as fast as possible. Though, that Ink Rail is something that needs to be watched out for. This Forge Pro trying to get a pick, trying to move Rainmaker as far as possible into right, but that Zap and Aerospray are just going to be watching there, pre-firing it. before it even gets there. Just not enough paint control around the Rainmaker in that last moment, and it just won't be able to move out of the way.
And with that, that is the last game of the Play All 7, going once again to Spoon. Gator Squid was unfortunately not the one dining tonight, as we saw Spoon just kind of being spoon-fed those kills and those leads. So props tonight for Spoon of that's Town University, Pennsylvania, getting a pretty decisive victory in their week 1. They have a bright season ahead of them. But let's not discredit Gator Squid here where credit is due. They had a shaky start tonight, but we saw them adapt, and those later games in the set were a lot closer. Oh wait, we still have one more game in the set, do we? Did I lie? I don't know. I'm just gonna keep talking on as if nothing happened. But yeah. Again, Gator Squid, we saw them adapt later into the set, and I mean, like, look, I'm a member of the lesser-known Gatorland, South Louisiana represent, but I want to see them succeed. I really do think that if they kind of pay attention to some of those more suboptimal plays, some of those inefficiencies in their gameplay, they pick up the pace a little more, learn how to work as unit a little more, they could really start to see some of that more explosive momentum that we saw in those later sets, like Surgeon Tower. But I think I've ran my mouth long enough. The streamers probably want me to shut up so that we can move on to the next set.
Yeah,
Do you have any closing remarks, Echo, for the good people out there on Twitch?
Yeah, I do want to mention that CCA, as we said before, is growing a lot. It's really impressive just to see so many individuals from these colleges really sort of overwhelmed right now with midterms coming up and a lot of just stressors from college deciding, hey, do you want to just play Splatoon for like an afternoon or two each week? It's really impressive that all of them have been able to get together and try to practice up until this point and play through this league. And I do think it's going to help them grow as players a lot. So props to all of them for joining us and joining us as we're able to highlight their sort of maneuvering through this early stage of their competitive careers.
Right, and that is ultimately the real value in CCA, I find. Just finding a group of people to take the plunge with, not only to improve as players, but also just you get to meet people at your school that play Splatoon. How cool is that? I mean, like, whenever I met Kess during tryouts, I knew a lot of my other team members before then. That was my first time meeting him, and I mean, it's crazy. I love him. So if you're out there watching and you want to start a college team up in the future, it's never too late. You're going to meet some awesome people out there.
Yeah, most definitely.
Is it time that we close out? I don't really know what they want us to do here.
Okay. So we are getting notice that we are going to be changing into Zuno and Grace, both really amazing people going to be commentating your next set. But before we move on to them, Raphael, anyone can find you?
If for some reason you want to find me, I don't know why you would, but you can find me on Twitter. I'm still calling it Twitter. I'm not calling it anything other than Twitter.
That is the correct decision.
L Rabbi. Yes, it is just my tag, but put that L right at the beginning. Where can they find you, Echo?
Yeah, I have a Twitter as well, at StoryEcho_, and a Twitch, Story_Echo. One of them was taken when I was trying to make the other, and so that's where the inconsistency comes. But I do some coaching and play some with my team, The Archive. We are playing in Moody's, so keep look out for that, as if you want to look at it. But yeah, it has been a pleasure, Raphael, and yeah, hoping to see the rest of the season go smoothly, and hope you all have a nice night.